Hi guys! Today I'm going to recap the anime called Yosuga no Sora. Sora and Haruka are the twin brother and sister. After losing their parents, Haruka and Sora move to a rural town where Sora develops deep feelings for her brother and pursues a forbidden love. At the beginning of the story, they are seen going to their village home. Sora is a 16-year-old, very beautiful white-skinned girl who has a doll-like perfect appearance. On their way, they stopped at a supermarket and bought a cycle. Suddenly, they encounter a girl named Kazu. The girl gets shocked to see how handsome Haruka is. Later, they arrived at their house. Then Haruka goes to their neighbor's house to greet them. Haruka talks about her parents. Suddenly, a girl named Nao comes and gets shocked to see Haruka. Nao is Haruka's childhood friend. Next day, Haruka goes to his new school and introduces himself. He made friends immediately. Meanwhile, Sora is alone in the house, watching the photos of their past. She started to remember her childhood. Sora and Haruka playing hide and seek. Suddenly, Haruka kisses Sora. Later, Haruka gets home and talks about the girl they have encountered on the way to their house. Haruka also talked about the new friend he made. Next day, Haruka encountered Kazu and Nao at school. Nao tells Kazu that she lives next door to Haruka, and also said that she is kinda like a big sister to Haruka. Later, Nao started to remember his childhood, where Nao and Haruka playing together. Suddenly, Nao fell off the bike and got hurt. Sora sent Haruka messages, but Sora didn't get any answers. So she gets out of the house and sees Haruka and Nao on cycle. Haruka takes Nao to his house. When Haruka gets home, Sora asks Haruka why he isn't replying to her message. Haruka remembered that he left her cell phone in her pants pocket at home. Then Haruka says to Sora that he is really sorry. At night, Sora comes to Haruka's room and undresses. Haruka gets shocked to see that. Sora asks Haruka to take her measurements so that she can have a school uniform made. Next day, Sora woke up with mosquito bites. Nao comes over to bring Haruka some mosquito repellent, since Sora is scared of mosquitoes, and then leaves almost immediately. Sora watches from a distance and gets angry. Later at school, Ryuhei invites Haruka to the school rooftop to take a peek at the girls. Haruka warns Ryuhei not to peek at Nao and leaves. Later, Ryuhei tells Nao that Haruka has a crush on you, but Nao thinks he doesn't like her, because something happened between the two many years ago. Nao was trying to escape her parents arguing and ran to Haruka's house. At that time, Haruka was sleeping. Haruka was surprised to see Nao on top of him with her clothes undone. Until now, Nao feels guilty for what she did. However, Ryuhei is in the act of bringing Nao and Haruka together, and he did so by making the two meet at the school pool on Sunday. After the swimming lesson, Nao goes to the changing room and gets scared by a black cat. Haruka rushes to the girls' changing room. Right that moment, a school supervisor was coming. But Nao and Haruka manage to hide inside a box. Thinking it just was a cat, he leaves. Nao gets to know that Haruka does not hate her, only that he was just surprised at the events of that summer day, which dispelling her assumptions. Meanwhile, Sora shows her hatred of Nao, whom she thinks is the reason why Haruka has been preoccupied the past couple of days. One afternoon, Sora gets attracted by the smell of curry. She comes down from her room and catches Nao and Haruka making love in the living room. Sora throws Nao out of the house and warns her not to come close to Haruka ever again. Nao has come to know that Sora knows what they did in the past. Haruka tries to talk to Sora about Nao and his relationship, but Sora is not accepting at all. Later, Haruka decided to go on a date with Nao without telling Sora. During the date, Nao notices Sora is never far from Haruka's mind, and eventually spoiling their date. The next day, Nao notices that Haruka tries to hide his date with her from Sora. One night, Haruka catches Sora masturbating in her room while mentioning his name. He gets shocked and looks on. Next day, Haruka takes Nao on a date again, but he cannot forget of Sora masturbating that night off his mind. Eventually, Haruka hits his limit and tries to get rid of those thoughts by taking Nao to a love hotel, but she rejects his act and asks if he really loves her. Haruka is unable to answer and returns home. When Haruka returns home, he finds that Sora gets a fever. Haruka stays home to take care of her. Haruka falls in sleep by the side of Sora. When Haruka wakes up, he finds that Sora is on top of him. Sora confesses her feeling to Haruka, and they make love, beginning a relationship. The truth is Haruka has a crush on her sister when they were child. But Haruka did not want that kind of relationship with his sister. He thus denied his feelings for the next 3 years. He further tried to push his feelings aside by entering a relationship with Nao. However, after Sora confessed her love for him and kissed him, he gave into his feelings for her, and they proceeded to make love. This did not go unnoticed. Kazu and Nao begins to see the twins spend more and more time with each other. One afternoon, when Kazu and Nao decide to visit the Kasugano residence, they catch the twins in the middle of making love. Kazu runs away in shock at the sight of the twins having sex, while Nao calmly left the scene, Sora not even caring. Haruka gets stressed and wants to ditch the school. Next day, Kazu tells Haruka that she will never talk to him ever again. Later, Haruka and Nao meets together. Haruka apologizes. That night, Haruka fights with Sora when he tells her that they should stop doing it, even hitting her when the subject of pregnancy and abortion comes up. Things get complicated when they find out that their parents left no money for the two, and in order to survive they have to be taken under custody of their relatives, but this means them living apart. Next day at afternoon, Haruka finds Sora missing, and her room was in a mess. Haruka finds a note which is kinda like a suicide note and goes for searching her. Even Nao helps him looking for her everywhere. Finally, Haruka finds Sora in a lake behind the shrine. Haruka tries to stop her from going deeper into the lake, ends in them drowning. Sora gets scared thinking that she have lost him. Then Haruka tells Sora that he wants to make her happy. Then they kisses each other. Days later, the two leave the place. They went to the city where an artisan who had connections with their parents, hoping to find happiness elsewhere. Their friends visits their house, even though Kazu is unwilling to accept them, Nao believes they will do just fine. I hope you guys like it. This is my first time making a recap. I am learning, and I know this wasn't good. So I will make better recap next time.